tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, we're going to talk about a couple of things. We're going to talk about Caitlin Clark's salary having been drafted the same year as Angel Reese and the difference between those two salaries. Now, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I keep getting told, oh, one is every bit as good as the other. Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure the salary scale, along with everything else, has long since spoken, but we'll take a look at that. The other thing we're going to look at is Stephanie White. My goodness, all the Stephanie White truthers will be out in full throat, okay? Oh, but look at what she did last year. How about I don't want to be bored? Is it okay to say that? Is it okay to say I want to watch basketball and be entertained by said brand of basketball, of style of basketball? I want to watch the most dynamic playmaker in the game be able to fully cook. How about you don't ever play off ball? Never in life. Not only that, but can we just give Kelsey Mitchell some credit? Can Kelsey Mitchell get some credit for what happened last year? So, I'm going to tell you, most years I wouldn't have a problem with this. But this year, you better believe I do. Because I have to wonder, because of the CBA chaos, why would you possibly do this? Why would you make a decision to get involved with something that's going to take your attention away from your WNBA team that you are coaching when all kinds of chaos, nothing but chaos, is going to take place in April, and you play games in April, by the way. Actual preseason games, training camp, etc. What are we doing? Shouldn't you be worried about expansion drafts and free agents? Most years, free agency has been solved by this time. Most years, you wouldn't have an expansion draft. But not this year. You've got chaos. So right here, Stephanie White has worked as a college basketball analyst with ESPN since 2007. She recently called her first NBA game as a color commentator. My God. Working a January contest between the Raptors and the Magic. Most of her time with ESPN has been spent calling men's and women's college basketball games in the NCAA tournament. White returned to the tournament telecast this week. The Fever coach is in Columbia, South Carolina at Colonial Life Arena for first and second round games on Saturday and Monday. She will call 2 first-round games, and it shows you all the games that she's going to do. Scott Agnes posted this. FYI, Fever fans, Stephanie White, Tamika Catchings, Debbie Antonelli are serving as ESPN game analysts for women's basketball. White and the Fever are scheduled to open the season on May 9th against Paige Beckers and the Dallas Wings. So my question would be, and by the way, she is taking heat for this. She is taking some heat. Why would you choose or agree to do this season? Of all seasons, this is hardly what I would refer to as Nick Saban kind of focus. Bill Belichick kind of focus. Back in the day when baseball managing still meant something. Joe Torre kind of focus. What are we doing here? You've got complete uncertainty as to what your WNBA franchise and team is going to look like. You don't know. You've got 3 players. 3. Should you not be all up in the scouting, tape watching of both overseas players, NC2A players that are actually playing, and potential free agents. How are you not knee deep in a room somewhere watching nothing but tape right now? Or how about watching your own dynamic playmaker, Caitlin Clark, and some of her film to find out what you really need to do to adjust your offense to make it fit her as a player? But no, you're going to be gone calling ESPN basketball games. I got to tell you, let us not forget this if this team fails to make the second round of the playoffs. If they fail to make the second round of the playoffs, one could argue if they fail to make the finals. One could argue if they fail to win it all. Let us remember this day when Stephanie White decided something was more important than the Indiana Fever. Oh, but Rhodes, you're blowing this out of am I? Or do I just expect something a little bit more out of somebody that's got a team than what I'm seeing right now? I don't know. I don't like it at all. And I got the right to say I don't like it at all. We'll see how this plays out. Man, I just can't believe, again, if you didn't have the chaos and the fallout from the CBA happening where everything was bunched together, I wouldn't say a word about this. But I think this offseason is quite a bit different than every other offseason, and everything's a cluster F, and you're going to be gone calling games. All right. I'm sorry, but I will question your focus every day of the week. Gap between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese's projected salaries. This is interesting. We all know that the Epic triggered the Epic provision to contracts were triggered, right? And we also know there's just a standard raise that's going to come with the CBA. So let's take a look at this since they came in the league at the same time. Now heading into 2026, both players are staring at a payday that finally reflects their market. Under the previous 2020 CBA, we all know it was basically $78,000, and then Angel Reese was $73,000. We're talking about in 2024, $74,909 in 2025. After months of negotiations, the WNBA and its players' union finally made a verbal agreement, which has now been ratified by vote. The Epic provision, which allows elite rookies like Clark to jump maximum salaries earlier. In 2026, Clark's salary will rise to $527,155 per the new CBA because she has already earned all WNBA honors, Angel. She'll be eligible for a max contract in 2027 that could reach $1.3 million. Angel. On the other hand, Reese will see a similar jump next season, moving from $74,909 to $349,571. Her projected pay is $395,015 in 2027. Yikes. Actually, I think this should be $1.4 million or even more than that. So we'll have to see by 2027. We don't know the escalation. That's the one thing I'm waiting for. How do the max salaries and the salaries show to escalate every single season? Every single season. Despite these raises, a significant gap remains between the two stars' paychecks. Because rookie deals are tied to draft position, the number 1 overall pick naturally out-earns the number 7 pick. Yeah, but we were talking a $5,000 difference. Now it is a $177,000 difference. Nearly $180,000 difference between Caitlin Clark's salary and Angel Reese's. Wait until Angels fans realize that, and that pops in their head. Fallout in 3, 2, go. I saw that and thought it was an interesting tidbit to add to this video. Make sure you subscribed. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. Hit the like button. Oh boy, I can just imagine all the Stephanie White truthers hitting the comment section. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.